The wizard is the worst designed class in the entirety of Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh.
Hey,
Howdy.
what's up?
Well, if you take a look up, you'll probably see a ceiling above you. If you don't see a ceiling, congratulations for getting some time outside. I know, it's the wizard episode, so it wasn't super likely, but...
Is this touching grass? Is this what that is like?
Yeah, it's kind of like touching grass. Kind of.
Okay.
But yeah, how are you doing today? What's up?
I'm not
what's
terrible.
happening?
I mean, I'm not
terrible?
I've been worse, I've been better. Welcome to RGM Hates, the show that has minimal structure, and maximum grog.
Oh yeah.
We are here yet again. This is the wizard episode. This is the big one. I got all nice and dressed up for the wizard episode. My wonderful guest, I see you are wearing your wizardiest cloak.
As a truly prepared wizard should be. Of course.
Ah, fuck! I should have grabbed one of my wands from the basement. I used to collect them.
Yeah.
Good job with casting firebolt there.
Magic. Yes. Of course. What kind of wizard would I be if I was unprepared? That's like the one thing a wizard is.
I don't know. We'll talk about that because I have opinions.
Oh boy.
So
that's dangerous.
So I want to start with I want to open with the opening poem.
Okay.
Which I definitely wrote in advance and I'm not thinking of right now.
Oh boy. That makes me exciting for the closing poem.
Oh, I don't do a closing poem. I never have. I don't know where the producer was getting that from.
I was told there'd be a closing poem.
Yeah, I've recorded 4 of these and I've never done that.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Either way, for opening ceremony, here I sit with a big ol' mug. When I looked at the ceiling, I saw a bug. It makes me uncomfortable, and now I'm upset. Epithet.
Bravo.
Yeah,
Bravo.
No, that one fell apart in the end. That's the worst one yet.
No, you salvaged the rhyme.
Thank you.
Eventually.
Guest, this is your first time on our channel on any of our shows. Would you like to introduce yourself?
No, but I will.
Okay, that's fair.
Greetings, listeners. I am Nate Hula, designated Dungeon Master Extraordinaire and owner of a cloak.
Those are actually the only prerequisites for being on the show.
That's right.
Good job.
It was that easy.
Yeah. I am, of course, RGM Tony Brett, star of RGM Hates, hence the name.
Oh yeah.
I have with me my classical mug of grog. No angry Tonys out of the flask this time.
Rip.
Ooh, the rum that my grog is made with is a fun one. Is the celebratory Nuka Dark from the
Is it okay? Is it true that it's just a plastic shell?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, this is
it's still cool, but that's beautiful.
It is the cheapest, shittiest rum I've ever drank in my life.
Fantastic.
It is abysmal. This is nothing but a fun thing to have on a shelf.
Hey.
But I'm drinking it anyway, and
brew over in the Hula Corner is my own homebrew. This is Chaos Emerald Plum Cider, featuring Emerald Plum and Apple, and most notably, does not have twist top, and I don't have a bottle opener within arm's reach, so I'm going to be wrestling with this for the first half of the recording.
That's good. That's good.
It gives my hand something to do.
If
only there was like a spell that I could open this bottle with. Come on. Would be impressive if
I almost got that one.
Oh well.
Cool. So what's some of your experience with tabletop role playing games?
So I was introduced to the realm of TTRPGs when I was a wee lad. We, on many camping trips in the Scouts, we would play GRPG, generic role-playing game, which was all of the fun of Dungeons and Dragons with none of the dice. And I thought, oh boy, I'm gonna learn how to play actual D&D. And so I bought myself the starter set. And this was when 4th edition was the latest edition.
Oh God, I'm so sorry.
I grew to regret that purchase. It's okay. I got better. But yeah, no, I got older. I have played through many a campaign, both Dungeons and Dragons, but also dabbling in some GURPS, Stars Without Number, and overall just having a good time with Dice Improv. So
That's awesome.
As introduced, designated Dungeon Master, I've campaigned my fair share, but I do enjoy being on the player side when I get a chance as well.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
The rest will come out through our chat.
Yeah. Cool. So I wanted to talk about the wizard today. It's the wizard episode, so we're wizarding.
I hope we'd be talking about wizards on the wizard episode.
Yeah, no, so it's the wizard episode, so we're talking about sorcerers.
Finally, a good class. Wait a second.
I don't know why. I'm so much more like put together at the beginning of this episode than normal. I'm hoping that the grog fixes that.
It's the dress.
It is, right? Like it puts me in a different mood. Normally I'm super schlubby and
it hits different.
Yeah. It's okay, we'll fix it. I'll see something that upsets me and we'll fix it.
There we go.
So I wanted to start by going over the changes from the 2012 wizard to the 20 I thought it was
unless
yeah, you're right, because it was a decade. It was 2014.
Yeah.
Because
they just released 2024 DMG 5.5 essentially, right?
Yeah, exactly. We in this house it is 5.5.
Okay.
Because calling it D&D 2024 is for losers.
You can get that on a t-shirt.
Let's keep that clear. Yeah, so we're going to start by going over a bunch of the changes between them, what we like, what we don't like, and most importantly, what we hate. And then I just kind of want to round the episode out, the last probably like 15, 20 minutes-ish. It's pretty fast and loose here. You'll get to learn that very quickly.
Great.
I just want to cover, so in my personal opinion, the wizard is the worst designed class in the entirety of Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh.
It's flavorfully a wreck. Balance-wise, it's a wreck. It's just a bad play experience. It's poorly designed. And I kind of want to go into, with the latter part of this episode, a lot of the reasons why, like, I don't like 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. I know I DM a podcast about it, but I genuinely don't enjoy the game that much. I think it has a lot of room for improvement, but I'm still glad it exists, right?
Oh, yeah.
I would rather this iteration of a wizard not be in the game.
Ooh.
I would rather the section not be in the book.
This is a lot of bold claims coming.
It is. I genuinely believe it. I stand by it.
I have strong wizard opinions. The wizard should not be in the game as currently printed is not one of them currently, but I could be swayed.
We'll see what we can do by the end of the episode.
Yeah.
I will be alluding to here and there when we get into that section. I am currently working on what I call the Sage. I know that is already a background. So as far as the conflict between it being the name of a background and the name of a class, shut up.
I didn't say anything.
So that's I'm gonna on occasion say, hey, this is a thing I hate. Here's a general idea of how I would fix that.
So you would call that a like some sort of, I don't know, shameless plug?
I would call that some sort. There's little to no shame involved. I'll definitely
A little to no
promise you
shameless
that.
plug. Beautiful.
Um, but yeah, so I'm gonna occasionally allude to that, and once the class is finished, once it is put together, has some play testing, all that jazz, we're gonna make it publicly available somehow. And we'll have an episode of. I don't think RGM hates is really the right name for something about a thing that I'm creating out of a labor of love.
Yeah, and you couldn't do RGM loves because that would be defeating the entire point of the show. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
I don't know.
We'll figure something
We'll get
out.
there when we get there. In which we'll do a breakdown of the stage class.
Oh,
I'm gonna have notes in there to play it with 5 or 5.5. Because honestly, they are pretty compatible both ways. And yeah, but we'll fireball that bridge when we get to it.
I'm excited to see what's left of the Sage because I've been getting drip fed some of the content just as it's being written. It looks pretty exciting.
Thank you. Nate is a great collaborator on stuff like that. He's really good with finding where rules break down, where there's a lapse, and helping really brainstorm like better ways to do things. So he's been an invaluable resource in the Sage.
I like words.
So
yeah.
So if the Sage does roll out and you guys like it, you can thank Nate, and if you hate it, it's all his fault. So
yeah, something like that. Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Sure.
So for changes from the 2014 to the 2024 Wizard, right?
Yes.
I wanna clarify as we start going through these that because I think this is a lot of the methodology behind my issues with the 2024 rule set in general, the 5.5 rule set, is that this was something that they had a decade to work on. This is 10 years in the making. And every time you see a change that just looks like a balance patch, I just want you, Nate, and you, the viewer, to think about 10 years. What you could and have accomplished in the last 10 years, that was the amount of time. Now, I'm not saying they worked on it for a full decade, but usually in a lot of companies, once they release a product, they are already starting to brainstorm for the next one. And so I want you to think about how 10 years produced this.
Right. Because to be fair to small indie company Wizards of the Coast, right, there is a certain level of bureaucracy that goes through making changes just in any corporate setting. I say this as someone with a job. It takes time for change to happen. So, there's a whole company, there's a whole game they need to balance. It's not like somebody has been in a room thinking about the Wizard for 10 years straight that they've just been feeding
Correction.
Yeah.
Yes, there has been. His name is Tony Brett.
Okay, but someone at the Wizard's office, I mean, not you don't count. You're special.
Thanks. I think that's the best follow-up to "You Don't Count" is "You're special" instead of "You don't count, get the fuck out of here." I am going through normally when we've done this, I've just gone through the articles that Wizards of the Coast releases about each class. This time, now that everything is kind of out and available, I went the extra mile just for Wizard, just for this special occasion. And I have been looking through all of it. The entire Wizard class, subclasses and all, to pick apart what I've seen changes in, what I give a shit about and what I don't. Yeah, so instead of just going through the article, feel free to go through whatever website you guys would like to view the proper full class on. Or you can buy the thing and do it that way if you want. I won't, but that's my decision, not yours.
That's a great thing that our viewers have the right to do, is make their own choices.
Yeah. I think
And I have
my
no further
greatest
comment.
the greatest right I can exercise is to not buy this decade in the making steaming turd. So this is a small nitpick. This is a really small nitpick.
What do you got?
But I think it is tied to a lot of larger things in 5.5.
Sure.
Do you know about the changes to the spell book?
Is this about how the spell book can be... So for context, I... See, the opposite of love is... You would think it's hate, and Tony hates the wizard. I do not hate the wizard. I'm apathetic to the wizard. So I do not have the full wizard class in front of me. I have the article 2024 wizard versus 2014 wizard that breaks down all the changes. And I noticed one line that makes me raise an eyebrow that says, backing up your spellbook is faster and cheaper.
Yes.
Is that related?
It is related.
All right.
But not exactly what I'm looking at. The website that I'm on doesn't have the details on that.
Okay.
So this doesn't tell you how to make a new one. For those of you who don't know, in 5th edition, creating a new wizard spellbook is fucking terrible. It is 50 gold and 1 hour per level per spell to copy it down into a new book.
Mm-hmm.
And if you lose your old book, you lose every single spell you don't have already prepared. Like, they are gone. You don't know them anymore. You can't put them down in your new book.
This is going to be a hot take, but as it should be.
That is a hot take.
Yeah.
Holy shit. All right.
Well,
I actually have written in the Sage a note. I have that entire section copied verbatim. And at the very bottom, I have a note that says, like, hey, Game Masters, don't abuse this. Don't be a dick.
Oh, yeah, no. Don't be a dick about it. But what?
Because, like, that ruins a character. That can ruin a character if you're not, like, good about it.
Hear me out on this. What makes a wizard? What is a wizard? There's, like, 7 classes that just shit magic for existing.
Mm-hmm.
The wizard is the only one that is, except maybe the artificer, that is just, like, studying magic at the core, intelligence-based, learning spells with their brains. Sorcerers, they just can do it because they're the main character.
Warlocks, yeah, they wake up in the morning and piss magic, yeah.
Yeah. Warlocks, they're Sugar Daddy Cthulhu's favorite. Clerics, paladins, they're Sugar Daddy Torm's favorite. Like...
That's the thing I love so much, is the only difference between a warlock and a cleric is how edgy their god is.
Pretty much. Yeah. I love playing lawful good warlocks, but, like, specifically warlock.
Oh, that's
it's a good time. It's great.
It's so much fun.
Anyway, wizard is the only one that has this whole, I am going to study.
Yeah, their power is being a nerd.
Yeah, and it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole spellbook thing is, okay, I played wizard for a campaign once, and after every fight with another wizard, salvaging their spellbook and learning another ability was just cool. It was great. One of the big gripes I have with 5e is there's not a lot of advancement until you level up. You level up and all of a sudden you just get out of bed and you're 10% more powerful, and that's it. You can get new gear occasionally. Sometimes you find some magic items, but
that's exactly
wizards jacking spells from other wizards with the spellbook, and likewise then that makes the spellbook more valuable. If you lose your spellbook, you deserve to lose your spells. You should have that thing under your pillow. Now, Dungeon Masters, if you're a jerk and you go out of your way to destroy somebody's spellbook and not get it back to them, that's just being mean. But if you have, say, I don't know, have a high-level Thieves Guild pickpocket steal the spellbook and have it up to auction for the highest bidder, that's a good session.
That's an awesome story hook.
Right. So when I hate that they're making the spellbook easier to back up, because it should be painful to lose it. And that's my hot
take. I get that. I totally get that. The change in particular that I was referring to.
Okay.
It has to be something you can write on.
Oh. Okay.
That is it. That is where the distinction ends. I believe valid and a description offered in something. I can't remember what. Someone can find it. That'd be awesome. Literally like strips of paper that you keep wrapped around your arm.
Yeah.
Is a spell book.
And that's cool.
That's super cool. That's awesome. That's flavor. However, it's kind of difficult to regulate. So in 5.5, it has to be a book.
Okay. I see.
And that is, we're going to get into a lot of it. I've touched on this on all of our previous episodes, and I will touch it every single time. Everything about 5.5 where they saw ambiguity that could be abused or taken to an extreme by shitheads is just turned into something more bland as a way to fix it.
I see.
And I hate that.
That
in 5.5, they give a couple descriptions of like what it is and everything. You determine its appearance, such as a gilded tome or a collection of vellum bound together by twine. Either way, it's still a book. You're looking at a book either way. And that's bad and dumb, and I don't like it. Obviously, game masters rule it that it can be whatever the fuck the player wants, obviously. Like,
they can't stop us.
Yeah.
We can rub two brain cells together.
Exactly. I grew a third brain cell the other day. I am on another level.
Evolved.
Wow.
Wish I had one of those.
But yeah, that's just a small gripe, but it's indicative of a larger gripe overall.
Okay, I will say, there is one other thing you can use as a spellbook, though.
Yes?
Your iPad. If you take the Technomancy subclass from Unearthed Arcana Modern Magic, your spellbook can be one storage device of your choosing capable of recording magical data. The computing power of this device must be equal to or greater than a tablet computer.
I didn't know that Unearthed Arcana existed.
Oh, Modern Magic is my favorite Unearthed Arcana.
That sounds so good.
Have you ever wanted to play Cyberpunk, but you're stuck playing 5e instead? Modern Magic.
Dude, that's really, really good.
That's the second thing I hate about the Wizard, is that Modern Magic is Unearthed Arcana, and you can't cast Find Vehicle in a normal campaign.
Okay. So, one of the first changes to the Wizard for 2024, like, more significant changes than just, I don't like the flavor on Spellbook.
Right.
Arcane Recovery has been slightly changed.
Okay.
Has it? I could have fucking sworn it has.
I'm
dude.
Not
my foot tastes
seeing
great.
Arcane Recovery, but I could just be blind.
Son of a bitch. I'm pulling up the article. I was looking at the full ass class, and now I feel like a dumbass class.
Yeah, Wizards of the Coast might also be specifically gaslighting you. Just
yes, they do that frequently, where they will actually change the articles on their website ahead of time just to fuck with me.
Okay, they know your IP address. I mean, they could.
They do. Yeah. Oh. Okay. they didn't change Arcane Recovery. I'm gonna shut up now. Uh,
Well, this is a fun podcast. All
this
right.
is a fucking great podcast. We drink booze and we say things wrong.
Yeet.
So, Scholar is new.
This. Okay, I hate this one.
Ooh, why do you hate it? I'm curious. That was going to be the one thing that I praised.
Really? All right. Simple 3-word sentence. Wizards aren't bards. Bards are my favorite class, right? They're amazing. I love bards, personally. I identify as a bard.
You need to listen to episode 4 of RGM Hates, because John and I ripped the bard apart.
I'm scared to go back and listen to it now, because that's my child. That's my spirit animal class thing.
Oh, man.
But regardless, no, I don't actually hate it that much. Expertise is a fine thing. Frankly, I think... I don't know. I'm torn, because on the one hand, any class can have it. It's a feat that you can just gain expertise. I feel the barrier to entry is too high. On the other hand, just expertise in anything? I mean, it makes sense. Wizards are smart. They should know how to do things really well. It just feels... It feels like it's too late in the game to retcon that, also more classes can get expertise.
Okay, so counterpoint.
Yeah, hit me.
Jeez, I'm fucking defending 5.5 right now, motherfucker. Oh, God.
This is my plan all along. I'm just here.
I never thought I could be out-hated. So, I want to clarify. My favorite edition of Dungeons & Dragons ever is 3.5.
Okay.
I think Advanced is a little too clunky, but only a little. I think 3.5 straddles that perfect line. I love its systems. I love its mechanics.
You don't like rolling on the potion miscability table to determine whether 2 potions will just explode if they touch each other?
That is just a little too gritty for me.
Have you never experienced the joy of set to receive charge with a spear?
No, I have not.
Oh boy.
Dude.
Well, when we get to RGM Hate Spears, I have stories for you.
Oh man. I love weird old dumb mechanics just for the sake of complexity from old role-playing games and stuff. Like, second edition Warhammer 40,000. I'm sorry, I'm a Warhammer nerd. Allow me to indulge for a moment. Like, second edition Warhammer 40k had just really, really asinine, like, obviously the newest editions of 40k, for anyone who plays it, are really simplified as far as, like, just nitty-gritty of mechanics go. Mm-hmm. And I think in general it makes the game run smoother. But man, I still have my my special die for grenades to show how far off the grenade would go in what direction when you threw it. Because
that's beautiful.
It's great. It's great. It slows the game down way more than it needs to, but I love that shit. Like artillery strikes, grenades, and things, you would roll a die that had arrows on it, and you would, wherever it landed, the arrow pointing, you would measure, and you would get a number of inches, and you go that many inches from your target with the arrow, and you would be like, oh, I'm off by that much, so I only hit so many, dude. Like, it's so good. It's so good. Oh, man. So, silly overcomplexity is, I completely fucking forgot where we started on this. Oh!
You were defending
yes, my favorite edition of D&D.
5.5. Yeah, your favorite edition, 5.5.
Oh, shut the fuck up. 3.5. So in 3.5, one of the reasons I love it, and there are many, upping how your individual abilities went over the course of the game to the point in which, like, someone who never ever invested into acrobatics or use rope.
All right. Use rope. Oh
I'm sorry, it's my favorite example because
Is
it's
this
such
a good time to
stupid
mention
skill.
I have not actually played 3.5 yet and really want to?
Oh.
Because I've
Honestly, play Pathfinder. It's more popular. It's got more support at this point.
Is there a difference between the two? Like, really?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Not big enough to matter, really.
Oh, got it.
And Pathfinder 2nd Edition is really well streamlined. Pathfinder 2nd Edition is what I wish 5th Edition was.
Interesting.
But sorry, getting off topic. Which is the name of the game?
Yeah. I thought the name of the game was RGM Hates, but
I forgot the name of the game. Sorry, that's my bad. It's the name of the game.
It's the Grog.
So, I loved that when someone was like 10th level, by the time when they were 10th level, if they had consistently invested points into something that someone else hadn't invested any points into, a mid-roll for the person who had thrown a ton of points into it was higher than the best possible roll the person who invested no points into it would be.
As it should be, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's one where, like, the more numbers you can throw at an individual skill to go, this person's really fucking good at something, the better I like it. So since the entire point of a wizard is they're smart as shit, they're a fucking super nerd, giving them expertise in something of their choice is really good. I think expertise is being handed out a little too liberally in 5.5. But I think giving it to the wizard is a good
get expertise now? Because I've seen it, like, one of the ranger optional features is now they get expertise, which, I mean, they're basically rogues with animal companions, kind of.
They're Hunter's Mark rogues.
Yeah.
Sorry, they're Hunter's Mark fighters now.
They're still working some stuff out.
It's bad.
They're finding themselves. So they can find the path, but they can't find themselves.
They can't find the path anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, favored enemy and favored terrain don't exist anymore.
Oh no.
Sorry, correction. Favored terrain doesn't exist. Favored enemy just lets them cast Hunter's Mark. Sorry.
This does remind me of Call of Cthulhu system, which I really like. And that... have you played?
I've not played. I'm loosely familiar with. Please.
Long story short, it is a D100 system. So you make rolls, and you're... I forget if you're trying to get lower or higher than your score, but you roll D100. And every session, or every adventure, every skill that you made a successful check-in, you roll D100. And if you roll higher than your skill, you get points in your skill.
That's fucking awesome.
Continual growth. And it's also... Yeah, okay, you wanna get lower than your skill. So the higher your skill is, the harder it is to get that random growth.
Yeah, but that way you're just pushing to get that further up.
You just get a little bit more, I don't know, detect aberration or something.
Yeah.
Or punch.
Dude, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's sick. Anyway, I'll concede that expertise for the wizard makes sense. I still won't like it, but that's it.
Oh.
What else do we got? Wizards.
This is the thing I was thinking of. Memorize spell at level 5.
Memorize spell? This one.
Swap out one prepared spell on a short rest.
This and swapping out cantrips, too. Cowards.
Yeah. If you're gonna stick to the fucking shitty prepared spell system, don't just... I don't know. It's just... Like, it's barely a fix for an unnecessary problem. Oh, by the way, we're gonna get into this when I go to the hatred of wizards in general. Having subclasses based on the schools of magic is the fucking worst thing ever.
I
will
like the way
accept
you do
no
it in
arguments.
Sage, where you have your school of magic and a subclass. That makes sense.
Yes,
Having the
I in
subclass
fact
be-
have a direct comparison point for that.
That's amazing. But yeah, no,
Amazing.
having that be your entire subclass does feel, because then you have the
Fucking
fun
stupid.
subclasses like, whatever the one is that lets you sub damage types out. It's like it's not scholar. Transmutation? No, I don't know.
Is
one
it
of them
evocation?
evoker.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no. It's specifically the Order of Scribes. That's what it is.
Oh,
The
Order of Scribes.
Order of Scribes. When you cast a wizard spell with a spell slot, you can temporarily replace its damage type with the type that appears in another spell in your spellbook. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
That's
really
super
cool.
cool.
I would much rather do that than summon shield when I cast abjuration spell as my subclass. Like, that's it. I'm shield mage and I shield.
Yeah.
Not that shield mage is bad, don't get me wrong. It's just
No, it's
more
fine. It's fine.
things that don't lock you into one school. Or I'm sad that we never saw an official Onomancy wizard, the name magic.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
That's super
Give
cool.
us more name magic. Make
oh man, now I have to
again.
build that into the Sage, you son of a bitch.
True names.
Man.
Yes.
But yeah, that's the thing is like I will get much deeper into it in a minute. But
okay.
The subclasses for wizard fucking suck. They always have, they always will. As long as they stick with it this way. But memorize spells bad, spell mastery, yeah, I don't think spell mastery's changes matter.
Okay, so this is gonna be my
I don't like them. They're not good.
My other hot take for the wizard episode, as clearly someone who enjoys the occasional AD&D round, wizards locking in their spell slots in advance is fun, at least for me. And so swapping out prepared spells feels weak because it's just like, I don't know. If you have the limitation of, okay, you have to call your shot, this 6th level spell slot has to be on a big fireball in advance. It lets you feel like Batman when you get the contingency right. It's like, you read your enemies like a book, you knew you were going to need this, and it paid off. I would play the heck out of a wizard subclass or sage subclass that you locked your spells in advance and got benefits for it.
Man.
Hypothetically.
That would be such a cool idea.
That'd be pretty cool.
If only someone were smart enough and had a big enough brain to think of such a fucking...
we had someone locked in the Wizards of the Coast basement and only fed them leftover Magic the Gathering Hot Pockets as they toiled for 10 years to develop a good version of the wizard.
Oh, shit.
If only.
Oh, man, you know me too well. Yeah, so I disagree with you 1000%, and I think the Sage makes us both happy.
That's okay.
But that'll happen in the Sage episode. Because the Sage episode handles both.
Okay. As long as it's an option.
It's optional.
Yeah, it's not everyone's playstyle, and that's the thing. I have opinions. They're opinions. My opinions should not be made into facts, because they're my opinions.
The point of this show is to treat your opinions as facts and fight physically anyone who disagrees. So
yeah, well, I disagree, and I'll fight you over that. So
oh, motherfucker, let's go.
All right.
Okay.
Fireball.
Spell mastery, swapping out your spells on a long rest is for cowards and dumb.
Yeah.
The epic boon of spell recall. It is not the one you have to take, but it is the one that is recommended for wizard.
Right, because why would you
it's
not?
Stupid
also,
and shitty, and I hate
epic boons now? What?
Yeah, level 19 you get an epic boon in every class.
Oh. I mean, I guess it makes sense, because it's like, when else would anyone ever take one?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like a campaign can actually make it to level 20.
I know, right? Exactly. But epic boons, most of the epic boons they've shown off so far are fucking trash, and I hate them. Like,
okay, so they have new epic boons to go with it?
Most of the epic boons that they offer are passive abilities that you don't really have any choice in when they activate, what they do. They just do a thing. Boon of Spell Recall, I think, is balance-wise the worst of them, and it's dumb. So,
Okay.
the epic boon of Spell Recall, for the listeners, increase your intelligence, wisdom, or charisma by 1 to a maximum of 30. All of them have that rider or the physical version of that rider.
Okay.
And when you cast a spell using a level 1 to 4 spell slot, roll a 1d4. If you roll the spell's level, the slot isn't expended.
Wow.
At level 19, you have a 1 in 4 chance of your weakest spells being refunded.
Okay, so question on this.
Yeah.
Does it do, like, can you get multiple triggers of this, or is it just
It's
one?
not a once per day or anything.
Okay, so it's just every time you cast.
Every time you cast 1 through 4.
I don't hate it. I wish they would just give you extra slots instead of making you roll every single time you cast a spell, but...
Exactly. It
like, if you're gonna
feels
make
bad
a
when
roll
you get
for a
bad
spell,
rolls.
at least throw wild magic on that.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
so imagine the scenario in which you cast, like, 3 level 4 spells in a row, and you roll, like, a 1, a 2, and a 1. And then as soon as you throw a level 3 spell, because you're out of level 4 spell slots, you roll the fucking 4.
I'd be mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah? It's bad.
Hate that.
Okay. Any other notes you have on the 2024 Wizard, on the changes, before I get into my rant of why I hate Wizards on a fundamental level? Not Wizards of the Coast, which I do hate on a fundamental level. That
I have
as well. But
a couple notes, and the only one that has not come up yet is... So, the spellbook as a focus.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have one question. Why has this not been done already? You're telling me it took 10 years to let wizards cast spells from their spellbook, which they expressly need to cast spells? Why do they need another focus on top of that book?
No. They need the component pouch or the orb on top of their spellbook. They gotta have multiple items, and if you take either of them away, they are fucked.
Okay. And I said earlier how much I love them being just in the hottest water for losing their spellbook. Okay? Them needing another focus. Nobody! Do you care about your magic focus?
No,
when you
no
play
one
a
does.
spellcaster?
No. It's
Like,
just assumed you have it on you and at the ready.
Look, I can think of many spellcasters I've played. I could not tell you off the top of my head what their foci was, other than, oh, it's a bard, it's their instrument. Because they're a bard.
Here's what I will say. Dungeon Master, if you take the spellbook away from your wizard, and you don't have a good reason, you're a dick. If you have a good reason, then I'm curious to see how that campaign goes. Yeah, it's dickish, but, like, I respect the creative, like, direction. If you take their focus away, you're just a dick. Because that is someone who is playing a commoner for the rest of the session.
Like, again, I just don't understand why they need a focus specifically. I get if you're playing a gritty survivalist campaign and you want to stop people from cheesing Goodberry, so you make whatever berry Goodberry is supposed to be
a good one.
They're like the good ones. Yeah, the good ones. This is gonna kill me the rest of the night. Now I'm gonna remember this as I'm falling asleep. I'm gonna be like, yes, it was Dingleberry. It's not Dingleberry, but
Elderberry.
The good berry, whatever that is. They're gonna make, like, okay, you make that really hard to find so they can't spam Goodberry. Fine, you're playing super gritty. You really want them to jump in joy when they find this berry so that they can eat for the day. Whatever. That
Fine.
makes sense. Component pouch? Fine. I can't imagine why a wizard would specifically need both their spell book and a focus.
Could you
Why do they
fucking
need
imagine?
both things?
Could you fucking imagine you start a session, you start a combat, and you get to your turn as the wizard, and you say, I'd like to cast Fireball. And the DM says, no, you can't. You go, why not? And they said, I didn't hear you use your minor action to take out your orb.
I'm sorry, your minor action?
Dude, I would leave the table. I would leave the table on the spot.
Is that what they're calling interact with objects? Oh, man.
Didn't hear you take out your orb.
No, even worse. You're like, alright, I would like to cast Fireball. And your DM is like, you attempt to cast Fireball, but since you are not holding your orb of casting, it has no effect. Smartest
you lose
man
your
at the
action,
table,
you lose
Intelligence
the spell
20,
slot.
cannot figure out how to cast a Fireball without an orb.
Oh no, my glass ball! It's got a scratch! Now I can't cast spell! Oh shit.
Oh.
Okay, so now that I am here, let me
I think we're good to
That's it.
You did it.
The drink is supposed to be empty by the end of the episode. For me, that is not a requirement on anyone else. So now that we're here,
Okay.
it is time for the rant.
Go off, Tony. You got it.
It is time for me to complain about why I hate the wizard as a class.
All right. Ooh, he has notes. That's how you can tell
Oh
he's
man, that looked like that
passionate
sounded
about wizardry.
good.
That was good. And you wrote it down on paper.
I did.
That is
like a
technically
wizard.
not in book form, but that's okay. Before we shift.
Yeah, I don't know if this counts as a spell book. Does this count as a? I was hoping that would look better. Shit. So, foremostly, preparing spells feels bad.
Oh.
Because of how it is handled.
Okay.
I don't think that the idea of having to prepare your spells ahead of time is fundamentally terrible. I don't think you're allowed to prepare anywhere near enough. And you consistently have to choose, do I want my combat kit for this session? Because, right, realistically, most people do one long rest per session. So when we talk about once per long rest, we're talking about once per session. Generally.
Generally.
So you pick, is this a session where I want my social kit, my combat kit, or my puzzle kit? Or you can have a little bit of each and be bad at everything. Because you don't get to prepare that many. That sucks. What really sucks is when you have create or destroy water or shape water. Shape water. Let's go shape water.
Mm-hmm.
You have shape water in your spell book. You don't prepare it because it's really neat. It's really niche. You're in a dungeon. You're not going to need it, so you don't prepare it. And the next session, you didn't use it, so you don't need it. You don't prepare it. And the next session, you didn't use it. You don't prepare it. And then that session, there's a problem that is almost impassable, nearly kills one of your characters, and could have easily been solved by having shape water. But you don't have it. And it's on your spell sheet. You're looking at it. You can see it. But the little fucking circle next to it isn't filled in. So you cannot cast it. So you prepare it for the next 5 fucking sessions. And
is
you
this
don't
a personal
use it
experience?
It is not. It is not.
Okay. This sounds like something that has happened to you.
But I'm passionate about it. Old man yells at cloud. But yeah, so like the next 5 sessions go by and you don't prepare it, and you prepare it every time and you don't use it. So you finally, after those 5 fucking sessions, right? If you play every 2 weeks or whatever, that's months. And you go, you know what? Fuck this fucking spell. It's taken up a spell slot. I don't need it. It's gone. Don't worry about it. And then fucking session 25 of your campaign, you run into another scenario in which it is crucial to use, and you don't have it prepared because you haven't needed it for 20 fucking sessions. That feels like shit. That feels terrible. So that's bad. I think I have a way to fucking solve it. Let's say you pick your school of magic. You pick abjuration. Because you like abjuration. You're like, oh, I always go in every scenario with protection. No kids. So let's say, because you picked abjuration, all of your abjuration spells are always prepared. Your counter spell is always at the ready. Shield is always there. You don't have to waste a spell slot on it. Or a prepared spell on it.
Say, shield without a spell slot seems pretty good.
It's really good, honestly. But that's the thing, is you prepare all of those. And then you get to prepare your normal number of spells on top of that. That way, you can say, well, I'm a evocation wizard. I'm always ready for combat. But how I handle puzzles and social situations is where I have to start getting a little choosy. That feels good, because then when you get into that combat scenario, the same way a fighter is good at combat, but depending upon how they spec out, can be decent at other things. You go, oh, it's combat. I'm ready to fucking go. Let's do it. And you're decent at the other things because you have the right spells for it. Infuriating problem, easily solved. Next. Comparing the wizard to the other spellcasters. This is in 5.5. The wizard has the same number as spell slots as the cleric, and only knows at 20th level, max level, 3 more spells than the cleric does. Because the cleric has to prepare spells in 5.5 now. So that's the difference, right? Is the cleric has 22, the wizard is 25. They have the same number of spell slots and everything.
But the wizard can have an extra 3 prepared.
Tell me, does that feel like a true master of the arcane to you? That they're just as good as the guy that prays a lot? It's not. It's not. At that point, I should have just gone into the faith. I just have to fucking say a few Hail Marys a day and I'm done.
It's the same thing as why I hate Superman. And it's because the Flash, his entire thing is going fast. He is impossibly fast. So fast, it defies physics. And Superman is just casually able to beat him in a race. And also do the rest of Superman's kit.
Yeah, and he's also got the strength and the lasers.
They have one
and the
thing. Just give them that one thing.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
If that's his entire gimmick, then why isn't he objectively, very clearly, identifiably better at it than everyone else?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Why is it that the guy who spent his entire life, right? Most of the depictions of Wizard are relatively aged because the point is that they've spent their entire life studying.
Yeah.
Why is it that the guy that prays a bunch is just as good at magic? Not just as powerful. That's not my issue.
No. Just
as good at magic.
Well, I mean, okay, if you want to get pedantic about it, it's because the cleric is actually channeling the abilities of a deity who is more powerful than the wizard because they're a deity.
Then that should be the difference in flavor, and that difference in flavor is not there. They shouldn't have as much control over it, because if they have control over it, then aren't they kind of the deity in that scenario? That's blasphemous. Clerics are blasphemers. Take their powers away. Everyone who's running a game right now, take your cleric's powers away for being too aggressive. Please don't do that.
Or do. It'd be funny.
You know what? Fuck it. They're playing clerics. Who gives a shit? So I also have issues with the balancing of spells. Fireball's too good. Like, I'm okay with spells being stronger than others, but some are just too good. They solve the class.
It's more like situationally. Like, when would you ever cast with a 3rd level slot a damage spell that isn't Fireball?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
exactly.
It's just objectively the best one. The only reason I would even consider not casting Fireball is if I'm playing an Ice Wizard or some other element, and there's so little elemental support, which is weird, right? Like, you'd think that you could have an Element Wizard, and the only thing that's in 5e is just some, a feat that gives you a little bit of extra damage that you need to spend a feat on?
Yeah, that sounds right.
That's about it. Yeah. Why is there more support for casting Schools of Magic than just damage types? Why can't I play my Ice Wizard?
Because Fireball exists, and we're only going to give support to fire spells. Fuck you. So that, I think, gets into one of my bigger issues. One of my biggest issues. There's not enough real spell variety to support what they're trying to do with the subclasses and playstyles of the wizard. They're relying on, this is me spitballing, but I think it's pretty clear when you look at what you're doing. They're relying on there being enough variety in the spells themselves that you can say, I'm an evocation wizard, and that makes me special.
Oh.
But it's not enough.
Special.
Everyone's special. Everyone's special, but not that special. It doesn't exist in 5.5 anymore because why fix things when you can just get rid of them? It saves labor. The Necromancer no longer exists.
Oh, they just took that out.
Just gone. Huh. Yeah. There are only 4 subclasses because every class is only 4 subclasses now.
Oh. Oh, so that is all of this. So I can only be an Abjurer, a Diviner, an Evoker, or an Illusionist.
Yeah.
Oh.
The other 4 schools of magic, if you wanted to specialize in those, you can promptly go fuck yourself.
I hate that. Like,
I hate that too.
I can't even work up an over-the-top rage about it. I just legitimately hate that.
It's so fucked, isn't it?
That's awful.
I love necromancy. I love summoning the dead and all that cool stuff. It's like, okay, yeah, there's like a second level, 3rd level spell for it. You're like, what do you mean? I can't like have a class based around there? Like, no. You don't get to like do that. No, wizards cast fireball. That's what they do. So we made sure that that's all they do.
Silence for the enchantment wizard, because looking over the wizard, I was looking forward to playing an enchantment wizard as I was pouring through the class to check out sage things. It's like, wow, no, this ability seems pretty good. This is fun. I like double casting my enchant. Nope, it's just gone. That's a bummer.
It's bad.
Rip.
And this ties into how bad it is making your subclass based around a school of magic.
Yeah.
How fucking stupid that is.
Well, and
because
also
if there are
limiting it to 4. Why are they limiting it to 4?
Yeah. It's almost like because they choose to not support necromancy or choose to not support enchantment or choose to not support those classes, they just can't really build classes around them. That being said, the more realistic answer is probably because if they include, let's say, 2 subclasses per expansion book, now they have reasons to make wizards buy 2 different expansion books.
Wow. I love buying products
that
I already own.
Isn't it
amazing.
Great? Don't you love it?
Wow.
My equivalency in my head, right, is making your entire subclass based around a school of magic is like if you took all of the fighter subclasses and strip them down to just being, this is the fighter subclass great sword. This is the
It
fighter
really
subclass club.
This is the
Right?
fighter
Like
subclass net.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly,
why would you ever take
fuck
that
it.
one?
I'd play a
we
net
needed
fighter.
4.
But like that's what it is, right? Is it's like, what if we built an entire
Okay,
subclass
hang on.
around one of the
So it
fighter's
was
weapons?
Greatsword. What was the second one you said?
Club.
Greatsword, club, net, and longbow. Those are your new fighter subclasses.
You just
Which
mean a
one are
better
you playing?
ranger?
Comment down below. I'm
Oh
personally,
shit.
I'm going for the club fighter. I'm ready to use my
Fight
subclass
Club?
feature, bonk, which lets me make an attack with my club. Not an
That's
extra
it, it's
attack,
Fight Club
just
time.
an attack. You need the subclass to attack with your club.
Club fighter is required in order to use club. They're the only one with club proficiency.
Yeah. Fighter proficiency has been updated to all simple weapons except club.
Except club.
And all martial weapons except greatsword, net, and longbow.
Hear me out. You have your equipment set, and the entire equipment set is like simple weapons, martial weapons, simple range, simple or martial ranged, and then club. And there is one item in the category, and it is club.
It's club. Your equipment you get at first level, you get a wooden short sword to practice with until you unlock the ability to use a club at 3rd level.
Club. Oh, shit.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't play Taste Your Sage anymore. I need to roll up a club fighter.
Club fighter. I'll Spencer, our wonderful producer, if you could roll up a net fighter so we could have a net fighter and a club fighter, that'd be great.
Oh yeah. That'd be fantastic.
Oh shit. Okay, so I think we pretty well clarified subclasses based on like your fucking schools of magic are stupid. That's dumb. It's bad.
Yeah.
So the only fix to that would be having your school of magic be similar to, since we're comparing things to the fighter, your martial archetype is like your school of magic, and then you get a real subclass on top of that.
Wow. Oh yeah, because there is a way that I can play a great sword fighter already. It's heavy weapon fighting. Yeah. Or whatever
with
that
any fighter subclass.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing.
I really didn't have to think that hard to come up with that. In fact, it's already in the fucking book. You're telling me with a decade, they couldn't come up with that?
10 years. Listen, they had a lot going on. Small indie company.
Small indie company, Wizards of the Coast, all 3 employees just doing their damnedest.
Yeah, they're trying real hard.
So, the fucking wizard sucks. Like, I think balance-wise, obviously balance is atrocious, right?
Mm-hmm.
At low levels, they're the weakest class in the game. At high levels, they're objectively the strongest class in the game. It's so poorly made. It's so poorly balanced. It doesn't feel great because you're dealing with the could-have-beens feel bads as you're looking at your spell list of what you don't have prepared.
Mm-hmm.
The fucking subclasses feel like shit. Most of them aren't even worth it to the point in which they got cut out of the main fucking game for 2024 for 5.5. Like, everything about it at every single level of
we spent 10
flavor,
years revising
of
this content,
play style, of balance.
Throw half of it in the trash.
All of it's failed. Yeah. The entire thing, the entire wizard in 2014 and in 2024, in 5 and 5.5, is a failure top to bottom. It doesn't need to be in the game. It's bad. You should have killed wizard and kept artificer. Why would you destroy the artificer?
Because we need the wizard. Because we need to have
What a bad
12 subclasses because It's a multiple of 4, and our new thing is 4s. That's why. I cracked it.
Fun fact, in Japanese, 4 is she, which is also death in Japanese, because all 4 of these make me want...
Ooh.
That's the real poetry. Like I said, we're going to have a full episode that is just the breakdown of the, like, full Sage. Like, the full version 1 of the Sage. The Sage is not a have your 12 main classes and then also have the Sage as the 13th. Like, the purpose of it is intended to be take your 5th edition rulebook, rip the entire fucking wizard section out, and put this in instead. Like, that is the point of the Sage. So there is a lot of overlap. There's some features that are just directly ripped, some features that are just adapted, and a whole lot that are just brand fucking new. Because this is intended to be a replacement. Obviously, I'm not telling you to destroy your own property. Don't do that. Unless you want to, at which point more power to you. It's your property, not mine.
Rip out the wizard section and then bind in a copy of the Sage where it was, you know,
it's pretty fucking cool. That's metal.
That'd be sick. Take a picture of that. We'll do something.
Even though it's not out yet, please, take a picture of the fucking Sage jammed in where your wizard used to be.
Your spellbook can take any form as long as it's a book, and that includes having the Sage hastily jammed in the back of it. I think next wizard I play is going to have the full text of the Sage subclass jammed into the back of their spellbook.
Fuck yes.
Just for no reason. just to have it.
Oh, I love that. All right. Oh, yeah. There you go, people. As previously discussed, there isn't an outro poem. Or I don't know if that got covered in this recording or if that was I don't fucking care. Yeah. I drank my booze.
You had your grog.
I did.
Yeah. I mean I could
Wizard sucks. Bye.
Bye.